Lesson 5.3 video 4. So I've got 3x squared plus 11x minus 4 equals 0. The first thing I'm going to do, this is already set equal to 0, so I don't have to worry about forgetting this time. I'm checking to see if there's a GCF, and there's not. 11 is prime, so there's nothing else I can pull out. 3 is also prime, so that means I get to lock in a 3x and an x, because the only way I can get 3x squared is by multiplying 3x times x. Now, I've got to think about my signs. I've got a positive here, but a negative here. So think about the fact that your C is going to come from multiplying this number and this number. So whatever my x's are with whatever happens to be there, this number times this number is that C. So if it's negative, one of them has got to be positive and the other one has got to be negative. That's the only way that could possibly happen. So I'm going to put a positive here and a negative here. I might end up having to switch those. We'll just have to see. But the only way that I could get a negative here is if one of them is positive and one of them is negative. All right. Now we've got to figure out what we could get by getting this 4. So again, I need my factors of 4. I could have, it's technically a negative 4, so I could have negative 1 and 4. I could have negative 2 and 2. Or I could have negative 4 and 1. So that negative could end up on either one of those. So we want to multiply to equal 4. 2 and 2 are the closest, and I can put those anywhere. So I'm going to try putting a positive 2 and a negative 2. When I multiply this, though, I get 3x times x is my 3x squared, which is what I want. 3x times negative 2 is negative 6x. That 2 times x, that should be a positive 2x. And then 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. So I've got my a and my c like I want, but positive 2 times negative 6 is negative 4x. That is not what I want in that middle term. So I've got to try something else. I'm going to try my 4 and 1 now. So I've already got my 3x and my x locked in. I've decided I'm going to put a positive here and a negative here. So now I'm going to test this. Well, 3x times x is 3x squared. I know that's going to work out every time. 3x times negative 1 is going to be negative 3x. 4 times x is going to be my 4x. That adds up to 1x. Again, that's not giving me my 11x that I wanted. So even though I could continue on and say 4 times negative 1 is negative 4, this is still not going to be my answer. So this is not going to be lucky. I'm going to have to try one more time, which means I'm going to switch that 1 and that 4. So I'm going to have a 3x plus 1 and an x minus 4, and I'm going to multiply again. So 3x times x gives me the 3x squared that I know is going to be there. I also know that 1 and negative 4 is going to get me my negative 4. I've got to look at those outer terms and those inner terms and see what they get me. Well, 3x times negative 4 is negative 12. 1 times x is x, and that does add up to negative 11, which is exactly, no, I wanted positive 11. Crud. All right, so we're going to have to try again because that is definitely negative 11. What that means, though, if I've got the right term and it's just the wrong sign, is I'm going to need to switch this positive and this negative. So make sure you guys see I've got this negative 12x plus 1x. That is going to be a negative 11, and I should have had a positive there. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to say 3x minus 1 instead of plus 1. And on this one, I'm going to have x plus 4 instead of minus 4. And this should work. Let's see. I've got my 3x times x, which gives me 3x squared like I knew it would. 3x times 4 is positive 12x. Negative 1 times x is negative 1x, and then of course the negative 1 times 4 is negative 4. So my a and my c are just like they should be. Positive 12 plus negative 1 is positive 11x. So that is my final answer that I'm going to be able to set equal to 0. Whew. So I had a mistake in the notes there, but you guys can see kind of how that thought process flows. So it's probably a good mistake to make. All right, so I'm gonna, in order to solve, I'm gonna set each factor equal to 0. 3x minus 1 equals 0, and then x plus 4 equals 0. I'm gonna add 1, and I get 3x equals 1, divide by 3, and I get x equals 1/3, or 0.3 repeating, whichever you like. And then over here, I'm subtracting 4, and I get x equals -4. All right, so my two answers, x is equal to -4 and 1/3. All right, so you guys are ready to try a couple. This one, we've got a prime there, so you can lock in that a value pretty easily. Over here, make sure you check for GCF before you start going, trying to guess and check. It's going to be so much easier if you pull out that GCF ahead of time. Once you've finished answering those and checking them, I'm going to let Mr. Thomaswick take over from here because 8 videos is just a long time for you to have to listen to me and look at me. So I'm going to let him take over, and you guys good luck with the rest of your factoring. I'll see ya in class.